or good afternoon, everyone, depending from where you are. On behalf of Data Visual, welcome to the Rethink the Video Bar with Huddly. And now I would like to introduce our speakers. We have Chris Clay, VP of Channels and Distribution, and Abin Thomas, Technical Lead at both at Huddly, who will be guiding us through today's presentation. So before we start, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A box at the bottom on the screen. Some questions will be answered during the webinar, and others will be answered during the Q&A at the end. Okay, we can start now.
Oh, we appreciate it. So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. As it was already stated, my name is Chris Clay. I'm VP of Channels here at Huddly with my main man, Eben Thomas.
Hey guys.
We're really excited to be here with Data Visual today to go through, as you can see, for this very attractive video, the C1. And this was the big reveal we had at Infocom. And for those that were unable to attend, we're happy to go through it. You know, this was an award-winning launch, right? We got a couple of awards at the show. We also got a Tech Titan Award, which is like an Incredible Hulk statue. Is pretty cool. So anyway, we're really excited about it, and we're really excited to be sharing it with Data Visual and going through you know, not only the C1 features but also our vision and our roadmap with you today. So click over to the agenda. So vision, where does the C1 fit in the overall vision, and how has the vision been adjusted with the advent of the C1? We're famous for AI directed technology, and the C1 is no different. So we're going to go over the intelligent features, what you can expect with the C1. Eben will take, probably with some interruptions from me, Eben will take us through the hardware of the C1. And then, we'll touch upon flexibility. There's some day two enhancements that we will have on the C1 that we make it really exciting. And really, a trailblazer in the new, the next phase of Huddly. Where does the C1 fit in our current portfolio of camera solutions? What are next steps? And then, obviously, as stated before, if there are any questions, I don't know how many questions we can take. We'll take as many as we can. But without any further ado, we'll go to the vision. So, far-end engagement is one of our mission statements at Huddly. How do we maximize engagement for everybody involved in a meeting? Hybrid meeting spaces are here to stay, right? They're not going anywhere. More and more people, technology is supposed to bring people together regardless of where they are physically, right? Whereas before, you had to be in the same location to feel connected to a meeting. Now with technology and with our advancements in AI and technology, we're trying to bridge that gap. So technology that brings people together, regardless of where you are. And the C1 is really no different. So, this has really been a journey that really started in 2016 for us. So, disruptive innovation is one of our cornerstones of our corporate philosophy, right? We pride ourselves on, innovating and shaking up the status quo. And in 2016, that came with the IQ. And the IQ is the first intelligent camera solution on the market. It's still on the market. You guys are still selling these cameras, and these cameras are deployed in hundreds of thousands of rooms across the world. How can we disrupt our disruptive technology? Well, that came in 2023. So, disruptive innovation was applied to, the UC space, applied to the collaboration space. How can we kick it up a notch and actually create a new category? And that came, with the advent in 2023 of the Crew, an intelligent camera system, basically plug and play, edge AI, switching system that switches to people, not to presets. Doesn't require commissioning, doesn't require any kind of programming. You can have a full-blown multi-camera solution, a multi-camera system, a multi-camera experience with minimal lead up time. And then with the advance of we also with last year we expanded that intelligent camera system to 5 cameras, and now 2025 we're transforming that category. So now it's going from an intelligent camera system to a modular collaboration system, and the flagship or the first foray, the first shot across the bow on that transformation is the C1. And as you can see from the image on the right, and we'll cover this, later in the presentation, but like in this setup, a kind of a flexible meeting space, the C1 is your all-in-one audio video bar with 2 satellite cameras, and we'll cover that going forward. So intelligence, again, Edge AI. AI is something that a lot of people talk about, a lot of people put in marketing. We have shown that AI is a cornerstone of our build philosophy and our product philosophy and our portfolio. So being as the C1, has integrated audio, microphones, and video, we're going to need more AI processing power. So the C1 has 20 times more processing power than in any of our legacy products. So this has the Ambarella chipset. So this is the chipset that's used in self-driving cars. So there is 20 times more the headroom that we have in our existing portfolio. And the reason being is there's a few reasons. One of managing not only video, but it's also managing audio. Whereas before, integrated microphones were used for tracking purposes, this is for audio capture as well. And then we have integrated speakers, and we're going to go through the features. Evan's going to take you through the feature set shortly. But we need that headroom, right? So we envision a 5-year life cycle on this product. And we are forecasting or planning 2 to 3 upgrades per year. And as you know, as with all of our other products, the C1 is going to be software defined. So it's limited only by the chipsets. It's limited only by the capabilities of the components contained within the C1. So any enhancements, any new features, any feature upgrades or updates, it will be available for the life of the product. So again, we're envisioning 2 to 3 upgrades a year for the life of the product. So we need that headroom. We need that 20 times headroom that we're going to be getting with the C1 in order for us to be able to deliver what we plan to deliver. So again, it's always evolving. And you'll see on this slide, out of the box, the C1, the video is going to have a lot of the features that you've come to expect with a single camera solution at Huddly, right? So it's going to have group framing. So again, it's going to be able to resize that image dynamically depending on the number of participants in the room. People come into the room, it'll resize it. People leave the meeting, it'll get rid of that negative space and resize the image. That's going to be right as a day one feature that is available. Speaker mode, we're all familiar with that mode, right? Stays on the speaker, 62 points of visual reference in the AI. There is tracking microphones. Evan, I don't want to steal your thunder, but Evan's going to go through it on that. There are tracking microphones on the C1 that will be able to, figure out where the best shot is and change the shot in speaker mode. And, the AI will be monitoring not only the 62 points of visual reference, but monitoring audio reference as well. And clearing your throat, shuffling papers is not a speaker. So it won't switch to the new speaker until new speaker is defined and identified. Collaboration mode. So this is the mode that closely aligns with our Huddly Crew multi-camera system in a single camera, right? So these are features that will have that feature inherent in C1, and that'll be available via the Huddly app. So we can change our, change between the 3 modes. Another feature that we released last year in all of our single cameras is perspective correction. So this is the eliminating the distortion that you get from when in those instances where you have to mount a camera in a less than ideal height, like higher than normal. You usually get, and this is not unique to Huddly. Any camera manufacturer recommends the optimal height for installation is eye level, just to eliminate any potential fishbowl effect or distortion that you would get from raising the camera beyond the optimal height. What perspective correction does, and we launched this last year at Infocom, is it flattens that image out. So it allows you to get those cameras up higher if you need to in a challenging space or a space for ADA compliance in the United States. It allows you to mount those cameras higher than optimal and without any of the negative consequences of doing so. So all of those are going to be native to the C1 at launch. What we're excited about is we're now taking that AI and applying it to intelligent audio. So AI is optimized for better voice pickup and reduced background noises. And this isn't an EQ trick. It's actually capturing and finding the spoken word and enhancing that. So it's not notch filtering. It's not like, oh, okay, we're eliminating these certain frequencies. And we're going to show you not a live, but we're going to show you a video of this phenomenon. And then we also have, one of the things that we, when we were designing this product, we had some focus groups where we queried, professionals about what would you want to see in a video bar. And it was almost unanimous that quality of in-room audio, right? So like a lot of our solutions, most of our solutions have always been focused on the far end, right? How do we maximize far end engagement? But, with a video bar, the audio is a crucial component of it, right? And that is for the people in the room, right? So they need to have that engagement. So the audio is a big part. So there's a lot of studies done. If you take a audio and video and start degrading them at the same rate, everybody's hand goes up when the audio goes below a certain point much sooner than video. Our brains are able to fill in gaps on video much easier than in audio. So someone will say, oh, you know what, the audio sounds bad, way before they're going to say the video looks bad. So intelligent audio and the quality audio is paramount to the overall experience. So we'll go into, so this is, how big is this room, Evan?
It's 12 feet wide.
So 12
feet deep.
In this video here.
In that video, it's slightly bigger.
Okay, so this was, so what we wanted to do, so there were 16 microphones powered by, AI, right? And so this is what we showed, that visual representation that we showed earlier. We're gonna show you a video here. So this is, the C1 is designed for small to medium conference room solutions, an all-in-one solution for a small to medium conference room, and those size rooms are as defined by Microsoft. So this is slight. Sorry, go ahead, Shadi.
Sorry. Before you jump in, it was a question that if what you guys are using right now. So just to clarify for the audience.
Oh yeah, so great question, and thank you, Shadi. We don't see the questions hitting the display. So yeah, no better demonstration than using the product for demonstrating the product, right? So we actually are using the C1 for the microphones, for the video. There's a C1 mounted in our demo space in New York City, which is where Evan and I are sitting. So it is a live demo in addition to a PowerPoint. Thank you, Shadi. Great question.
All right, I'll play the video.
So this was a slightly larger space than optimal, right? For the purposes of showing us what the AI is doing in terms of enhancing. It's called selective noise canceling. So what does that mean? Well, we'll play a video.
When it comes to audio pickup of speech, I'm now standing in a very challenging room. Right now, Huddly's AI speech enhancement feature is turned off, and you can hear that my voice has already a lot of echo. That is because I'm standing in a very large room and I have this long empty wall to my left and a glass wall on my right. So let's turn Huddly's AI speech enhancement feature on. Now the feature is turned on and you can hear that my voice is enhanced even for such a challenging scenario. As you can hear, the AI removes most of the echo and also suppresses ambient noise sources, which makes my voice sound clearer.
So that's exactly what we're talking about, right? I mean, so there is a removal of the ambience without sacrificing any of the timbre, any of the vocal quality of the speech. If anything, it's enhancing the speech by removing the spurious noise and the unwanted audio. And it's not through an EQ trick. It's actually finding the dialogue, finding the spoken word, and pulling that out.
All right.
Oh, look at that. Enough of my acting. Go for it, Evan.
Awesome, guys. So thank you, Chris. No, it's true AI that's working on the actual unit itself. So let's just talk a little bit about the hardware of the C1. And I love this little animation that we have here. It just shows the anatomy of the C1, right? And just so that you guys know, C1, that's the centerpiece of the room. And even though this device is like a small form factor, it is still really powerful, right? It's got these 3-inch speakers. It's got a beautiful 4K video. And you'll also notice in the front, it's got directional microphone, and it's got altogether 16 microphones for audio pickup and directional audio. And it's an aluminum base. That's what I have here. So if you look at it, it's just a foot in width. It's like super small, but it's really powerful. Right?
And it looks like a Huddly design product.
It does look
right?
like a Huddly
it's a logical, it's a logical extension of the products you've come to expect from Huddly. And I interrupted you really quick.
It's perfect.
But
it's okay. I love it.
I was expecting maybe the second slide I was going to get, but all right. Anyway, but the other thing that's important about this is I think it doesn't look like your video bar that you come to expect, right? A lot of those long, skinny, want it to be kind of the same size of the display. We made conscious design choices. It's a little squatter, a little deeper than a traditional bar. And the reason for that is the introduction of passive radiators for the speakers, really to enhance the in-room audio. So that circles back to what I was talking about before. In-room audio it wasn't a nice to have, it was a need to have.
It was a need to
from
have.
the people that we were engaged with. And so those passive radiators and those, those are aluminum drivers, right? In the bar, really, kick the audio up another notch, where it's not like, oh, it's good for a video bar. No, it's a nice sounding.
And it's got a rich bass to it as well. So it's not your typical video audio bar that you have out there. So we truly made sure that the audio sounds really good in the space as well. But just to give you a little bit more specs on the video bar, it is definitely, very similar to our Huddly intelligence that's happening on our cameras. The same Huddly intelligence is on the C1 as well. We are using a 4K lens, so it's a wide-angle camera. It's 120 degrees horizontal field of view. So in a room like this, it's a pretty, I would say, a small to medium space is what we have here. Once again, it's 12 feet wide by 18 feet deep. And notice the amount of width that you get with this camera. It's got 16 microphones. You got 12 on the top for audio pickup, and then you got 4 microphones in the front for directional audio as well, just to figure out where the audio is coming from. right? It's got high quality stereo speakers, and like Chris mentioned, the passive radiators to deliver that rich sound. And it works with pretty much any platform of your choice. It's Teams room, Zoom room. You can have it on BYOD scenarios. All of that is possible as well. And it's just a plug and play scenario. So that your video conferencing unit will be able to recognize that this is a C1. So you can utilize the microphone. It'll show up as C1 microphone, and it'll show up as the speakers as C1 as well. So just to give you guys an idea on what's on the back, right? So a couple of ports here. So if you look to the right, you have USB-C A and HDMI out. That is for your BYOD scenario. And the USB-C A, that port also provides 65 watts of charging as well for your laptop. So it's a pretty cool feature. You don't have to plug in your power bank for your laptop. And the other port, the USB-C to HDMI, that's for your meeting console. So if you have an MTR or a Zoom room, that's where you would connect it to. Going to the left side, you have the two RJ45 ports. So we believe in that modular system, right? The next vision that we are talking about in 2023 and further on, the vision for Huddly is to add devices to the product, and the products just find each other. So that modular approach, we are also doing it with Crew, which you already know, and now we are doing it with C1. So for C1, which is typically for small to medium spaces, maybe the center camera is enough, but what if you want to get a little more perspective, like the room slightly larger, you want to get a different vantage points in the room, and that's where you can add the Crew camera to the system as well. So you can have up to 4 set of cameras, including the center camera. And the way you would do that is use the extern port. So the extern port is an Ethernet port, and you would just plug in a switch, and then you would have your cameras connected to the switch, right? You also have an admin port that's an Ethernet port, which we're going to use for future use as well. You also have a hearing loop port. So if you have a hearing loop system, you can take the 3.5 mm out of the speaker bar and plug it into that system. It also has a power supply. That's what you see over there, and a Kensington lock as well. So that's pretty much, the backside of this product. Super simple, plug and play, Huddly intelligence on it, AI intelligence on the product. Yeah. Over to you, Chris.
Well, thank you, Evan.
Yeah.
So, as Evan alluded to with the Ethernet ports, this is, we envision this as not only a standalone unit, but a scalable unit, right? And the vision is to integrate it, because it looks like a Huddly product. It should integrate with the Huddly portfolio. So it's basically flexibility, right? So we anticipate at shipment that this will be Microsoft Teams certified for small and medium rooms. That's the expectation, and we'll get to when is it shipping, Chris. We'll get to that, I promise. But at shipment, we expect this to be certified for small to medium rooms as per Microsoft. So this is all you're going to need in a room, in a Teams room, to deliver, premium audio video experience for people in the room and on the far side. It will have a use as a standalone, and then day 2 would be Q4 of this year.
November.
I'm kind of teasing when you can expect the C1 to ship, but later this year, after the initial shipment, we will be introducing an enhancement where you can add on Crew-enabled L1s to extend the video in the space. So based on the fact that we support, currently Crew supports 5 cameras, you could add up to 4 Crew-enabled L1s.
Which is a separate SKU, right?
Right,
Yeah.
which is a separate SKU. So you can add up to 4 to have a 5 camera system in your room. And that will be a day 2 feature that we will debut. So We our first shipment of C1 is anticipated for September. All right, so we're taking pre-orders now. We have a QR code that you guys can scan for pre-orders. We'll get to that shortly. But September of this year, we expect to be shipping in earnest, C1s for the general public. And again, excitement about this the SKU was palpable. We had a demo room, very challenging space in the demo room that was booked around the clock. And it was nearly unanimous in the excitement about the audio quality in the room, the quality of the sound, the noise cancellation, the selective noise cancellation, because we were in rooms without ceilings, and it was like LaGuardia Airport in terms of noise floor, and it was an optimal experience even with those challenges. So September we're shipping. Crew enablement we expect later towards the end of this year. And this is a visual representation of what we're talking about, C1 with crew enabled L1s as side cameras.
And we do have a video which we can show as well. Yeah.
Eben and Chris, can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
We have a question that I thought it would be a good time to answer here. The question is, adding cameras is great, but if the mics only support small to medium, how is that being addressed for larger rooms?
Yeah, so for larger spaces, that's going to be through the software-defined cameras, right? That's going to be through the AI that's built into the box. And that's why we have that 20 times more powerful processor that's built onto this. So as your rooms extend, we will be relying on AI processing more. So that is our intention.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm just going to play you guys this video on the crew as well as the C1 together, working together. So check this out.
Hi, we're coming to you from the demo space at our Oslo office, and you're watching us on the new AI video bar, Huddly C1.
In this medium-sized meeting room, we've paired it with 2 Huddly Crew add-on cameras to form a multi-camera system. To learn more, head to huddly.com.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, no, and I think just to circle back on that question, I don't think the crew enablement is necessarily to extend the size of the coverage in terms of the room size, like, oh, this is going to work in a large room. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is in that medium size, high visibility space where you want more camera coverage, right? So like in this space, everybody sits at the far end, right? Farthest away. How do we get better coverage in that medium space? How do we maximize the video experience in the medium space? It's more about maximizing the video experience in the space size as opposed to extending, if that makes sense.
Great.
And then connectivity, right? It plays well with every platform, and in a BYOD setting, it will come with a 5-meter USB-C cable out of the box.
C2C. Yeah.
It'll C to C, and that connection will supply power. So if you bring your laptop into a meeting space, you can plug that USB-C into your laptop. It'll keep your laptop nice and powered up while you're presenting, while you're collaborating, while you're meeting with your colleagues. And it will have a mounting bracket. So for a wall mount situation, there are rubber feet on the bottom, so you could put it on a credenza. You could put it on a table. We actually have our L1 on a tripod with a little table adapter. So we can move this one around the space if we need to, just same as any Huddly camera is very flexible and dynamic. But there's a mounting for a more permanent solution and better cable management.
How about some color?
Look at that, huh? So the unit will be shipping without any kind of faceplates or covers. The plan is to offer 2 Huddly branded solutions. One is a black plate with fabric, and you'll see in this video what we're talking about here. So fabric coverings for the drivers, and these snap in easily. There's a little well around the speakers. It snaps into that well, and you're off to the races. So of these, the silver and the black will be Huddly SKUs. We're partnering with Heckler to deliver the 3 primary and 1 secondary color that you're seeing. So red, yellow, blue, and green. Really attractive. I got my little red pin here. But you know, if you wanted to stand out, if there's a color scheme that the enterprise is using, Heckler or any accessory manufacturer that specializes in plates with the proper dimensions should be able to deliver a faceplate that will adhere to the enterprise style guide. And then in a picture, keep it classy or make it pop. That really stands out in blue. It's a nice looking blue. And then where does the C1 fit, right? So you're familiar with the IQ. Obviously, IQ is designed, standard USB technology, huddle rooms all the way up to medium rooms. As we've been talking about, the C1 is going to be in that same space with crew enablement for maximizing the video experience in that medium room. But it's slotted right above, the S1 and then the L1 and crew, obviously in conjunction with an audio system in those larger or flexible spaces. And then Canvas obviously transcends all spaces for whiteboard capture. But that C1, it gives you that added advantage of being an all-in-one solution, so audio and video. And then, as I said, I'm glad it aligned with what I told you. That's shipping September 2025, and there's your QR code for pre-orders. And we are expecting an initial shipment of about 500 units in that first shipping wave, and then followed by a much more regular full-blown production schedule. But pre-orders are available now. We're accepting pre-orders, and we should have inventory to ship to you in September.